Hey guys, Fox here. Today is something that I look forward to each year, and that's talking about my favorite games of the year, or how I like to say what my personal game of the year is. This is a lot of fun for me, and it's going to be even a little bit more fun as I do have a new camcorder that I picked up on Black Friday for a pretty decent deal, as this thing actually has image stabilization, so I don't look like I have Parkinson's or something shaking my camera all around. But anyway, yeah, so but first I want to talk about a big pickup that I got for myself. Well, not for myself, something that my wife bought for me for my birthday. And that is a new Samsung TV. Watching a little football here while I plan things for recording. It's one of those new Samsung 55-inch smart TVs. This doesn't have 3D, which is fine by me because I probably would never use it. But it's great. It's got up to 240 hertz. The black's really good. It's just a big step up from my last television. So anyways, as we look at the PS4 and Wii U there, we are going to do my top games for each system first, and then I'll choose a winner of those, and then I'm going to go at the very end. I will tell you what my game of the year is all around. But first up, I want to talk about the 3DS. The 3DS had a lot of great games come out this year, a ton of RPGs, and it just might be considered probably my system of the year, as far as, you know, just the sheer amount of great titles that came out. But first up, we have Pokemon Y. This game was absolutely fantastic. This is a good step in the right direction for Pokemon. Black and White and Black and White 2 were good games. It's just they weren't as exciting. They just seemed like a very subpar Pokemon game. And this I just thought was absolutely amazing, and I had a lot of fun with it. First off, the Pokemon in this game were a ton of fun. The starter Pokemon were all very likable. I chose Fennekin, but honestly, I didn't really like the final form of Fennekin. I prefer most of Froakie or Chespin. Those guys looked pretty awesome. There were tons of other Pokemon that I really liked, like Pangaro. And the Mega Evolutions were neat. They weren't overdone. They didn't make them overly powerful. It just gave them a boost. This was just probably one of my top favorite Pokemon games. Just right behind the original Blue and Red for the original Game Boy. But yeah, Pokemon Y is definitely a system seller for the 3DS among a ton of other games, but this is probably one of the best RPGs to come out this year. Alright guys, my other choice for the 3DS for 2013 would have to be probably, it might be Game of the Year, but I don't know. I'll let you guys find out at the end of the video, but that's Fire Emblem Awakening. This game caught me by surprise. I never got to play any of the other Fire Emblems, but when I saw, you know, this hit the shelves and great reviews, and not to mention this cover art is absolutely amazing, I had to play it. I'm usually not the huge strategy RPG type of guy, but there are a few that I really liked, like old Sean Dark or original Final Fantasy Tactics and stuff like that. But this one takes the cake. This is my absolute favorite strategy RPG. Almost everything I love about this game. So, Fire Emblem Awakening is a great storyline. The characters are all individually great. They all have their own personalities. Nobody's dull. Everybody's lovable. The battle system is amazing. I mean, I found it difficult enough to make me have to, you know, turn off the system and try again, or rethink my strategy. I always played it on like the original mode, where if a character dies, they're gone for good. You can't use them in battle ever again. And I like that. That really made me so attached to my characters that I was using in battle. And if I lost one, it was almost heartbreaking. And I would sometimes it would be too much, and I'd be like, turn off the system, don't let it save, because I didn't want that person to die. I just can't say enough good things about Fire Emblem Awakening. Alright guys, up next is the Vita, and unfortunately my Vita didn't get a whole lot of love this year, as my 3DS kind of stole all the handheld love for most of the time. So I only got around to playing really just one Vita game. Even though I picked up the new Ys just recently, I haven't gotten to play it yet, so it's not fair to just throw that in here when I have not played the game, so I have no opinions for it or against it yet. So but I did get to play around with Muramasa Rebirth. So yeah guys, don't mind me if I'm holding the games off to the side or something like that. I'm getting used to the new whole camera thing going on here. But yeah, so anyway, Muramasa Rebirth, probably one of the most beautiful games I have ever played. This game's hand-drawn artwork throughout the game is absolutely amazing, and especially on the Vita screen, the colors are so vibrant and crisp that it just seems like it's at a really high frame rate as well. I love the action in this game, love the bosses, everything about it. It is just one of the more better games that I have actually played this year. So yeah, as I was saying, Muramasa Rebirth, one of the more beautiful games I have ever played. And I have to say that about quite a few of the Vita screens, and I really owe it to the screen they put on this. This OLED screen is just absolutely amazing. How black the blacks are and how crisp the other colors are. It's just such a beautiful system. And this game really pays tribute to it. And the game itself is not very long, but it's just fulfilling. You have a lot of fun playing it. And odds are I'm not going to have to go ahead and tell you guys at the end what my top Vita game would be. So I'm not going to say that later. It's obviously going to be the only one I played, which is kind of not fair, but I think it's a good choice that Muramasa Rebirth got my Vita game of the year. Alright, up next is going to be what I have chosen for my top games for the PS3. Don't mind the color changing of the carpet here as the screen up top is getting ready to play a game, so I could show you a little bit of what I have chosen. And the first game that first came to mind for my top PS3 game is Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. This was such a heartwarming game. A great story about a little kid who loses his mother and just brings his stuffed animal to life, and then he escapes to another world. And it's all about him trying to bring his mother back. This game is amazing. The story is fantastic. The animations are brilliant, done by Studio Ghibli. And Level 5 has done it again with just such a simply brilliant, beautiful RPG. You know, you gotta hand it to Level 5. You always want them to bring more of these great RPGs to us, as they show us just such great graphics, such solid storytelling and everything. There was one fault to this game, and that being the AI in the battle system was frustrating at times. But other than that, the battle system was actually quite fun. A lot of people screamed like, it's kind of reminiscent of what a Pokemon game would be on a console, and that's how you would battle and stuff like that. But yeah, Ni no Kuni definitely deserves to be in anybody's PS3 collection. This is an amazing game. Alright, and my other PS3 game that I have chosen is yet again another RPG, and more specifically another JRPG, but something that I've been looking to for quite a while to come out stateside, and that is Tales of Xillia. Namco brought us over one of the highest rated Tales games from Japan, and they are actually planning on bringing us the second installment into the Xillia game, probably early next year, which I'm excited for. Tales of Xillia is probably hands down my favorite Tales game that's been released. Tales of Vesperia has finally been dethroned for my top Tales of game. You know, when I first looked at this game and I saw the characters right here on the cover, this brilliant artwork here, I looked at this guy right here, that's Jude Mathis, and I was like, I'm not going to like him. And that's me judging a book by its cover, and there's Milia. And the more I played the game, looking at all these characters, Jude actually became one of my favorite characters. And this is just a great story. The combat is absolutely amazing, the best that I have seen from a Tales game. The story behind everything with Milia and Jude, and even all the other characters in the game, the little girl, the anime cutscenes are absolutely amazing. They're just so in depth with the character development that there wasn't a single character that I disliked in this game. Even the annoying little living stuffed animal that little girl had. Sorry, I keep calling her a little girl because her name is escaping me. Even I found that stuffed animal to be likable. I mean, it's been a long time where I played a JRPG and I actually enjoyed all of the characters that I had on my team. Every one of them had something that I loved. The story was great. The game got difficult when it needed to be, but it just was well balanced. This is definitely one of the top PS3 games that I've played in a long time, and it definitely deserves to be in a lot of people's collection. So yeah, guys, Tales of Xillia. Alright, now we move on to the Xbox 360. This system had actually quite a few good titles to come out for it, and it's not quite fair, but the two titles that I've chosen for the Xbox 360 also came out on the PS3, but because I played them on the 360, I'm going to go ahead and throw them on the 360's side. So these aren't any exclusives, so if you're mad about that, I'm sorry. I didn't play a whole lot of exclusives for the 360, and the ones that I did play I thought were crap, so here we go. First up though is a fantastic reboot to a series, and that is Tomb Raider. What Crystal Dynamics did to Tomb Raider with Square Enix is something just absolutely amazing. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it. What this would be Lara Croft's first adventure, and it is an astounding and amazing one at that. The controls were amazing. Controlling Lara was easy and it wasn't extremely hard at all. They made her look extremely realistic. They made the whole game aspect very realistic. She got hurt and she would show it. She would drag a leg, she would hold an arm that's injured. You'd have to go around to find things to try to heal yourself or wrap yourself up from bandages and wounds. The weapons were very easy to use. Her trademark bow was her weapon of choice here, you know, unlike previous Tomb Raiders where it was the dual wielding pistols. But the story was great. Being stuck on this island and seeing what happens is absolutely amazing. If you guys haven't played this game, I highly suggest you pick it up. It's very cheap right now, and I hear they're going to try to re-release it again, like a Game of the Year edition or something like that. I'm not 100% on that, but it's something I will be considering picking up, as I was just absolutely amazed by this game. Yeah, guys, please play Tomb Raider. Alright guys, my other game for the 360 is also a multi-platform, but I wanted to play it on the Xbox as it's the original game in the series was originally released on the Xbox, so that's what I'm used to playing these games on. And no surprise to any of my normal subscribers, you probably figured out, well, where is this game? Well, here it is. BioShock Infinite. This was absolutely one of the best shocking and amazing stories I have played in a video game in a very long time, guys. Playing as Booker DeWitt right here on the cover and hauling around Catherine, which is right there throughout the game, is just amazing. The voice acting alone, the emotion that those two voice actors put out in this game was just phenomenal. You felt the emotion. You felt like you were really with these guys. The ending is an absolute mind-blowing experience. For anybody who hasn't actually tried this game yet, you have to give this a shot. This is probably one of those games that should be on everybody's list to at least play through, just to experience the story. Even if you're not a huge first-person shooter fan, which I'm not, but these story-based shooters are just amazing, and this one just is probably the best. Yes, I said it, the best. Is this game better than the original BioShock? Yes and no to me. I mean, I like the world of Rapture a little better than the world of Columbia. But the story told in this game far better than what the original BioShock was. So yeah guys, this is definitely a game that people really need to play. Okay, BioShock Infinite. Alright, here they all are, guys, my top games of 2013, and obviously my only Vita game will be the one to take the crown on the Vita, and that's Muramasa Rebirth. Now, as far as the 3DS titles, even how great Pokemon Y was, it just didn't steal me quite as much as Fire Emblem Awakening did. So for my winner on the Nintendo 3DS, that will be Fire Emblem Awakening. Now, on the Xbox 360, this was actually a harder choice than a lot of you may think it is for me. I really liked BioShock Infinite, hands down, probably a damn near perfect game, but Tomb Raider was just such a surprise and made me really enjoy that adventure style game. But the whole story behind BioShock Infinite, I think, is the one that will take it. So I'm going to give it to BioShock Infinite, which is not very fair because I was on many platforms, as was that. For PS3, now these were exclusives to the system. I think this is going to have to go to Tales of Xillia, as I just was very attached to all the characters in that. The story, the combat was incredibly fun. I think it will take the crown for the PS3. So what we have left here are 4 titles for the 4 systems, main systems that were out. Yes, I know the Wii and the Wii U were out last year, but I really didn't pick up a whole lot of titles for each. I think I threw in a Wii U title into the honorable mentions section that I'll do after this, but these are what I consider some of the best games to come out last year. And as far as what I think the best game of the year is, this is a hard choice, but I will eliminate these two, and it comes down to these 2 titles right here: Fire Emblem Awakening and BioShock Infinite. Fire Emblem Awakening basically made me go back and buy all the old Fire Emblem games just so I could get back into playing those and just to see what I missed. I know a lot of people still say that this is still the best one in the whole series, but that just doesn't discourage me one bit from trying them. You all know that I'm a huge BioShock fan, and that this might be a little biased towards BioShock, that I might pick this one, but what can I say? It deserves it. It's an amazing story, an amazing first-person shooter game. Absolutely love it. So it's a tough choice. I would say I want to give it a tie, and you know what? That's what I'm going to do. Surprise, surprise. I was originally just going to pick that, but now that I'm filming, I'm not going to do that. Both of these games are my game of the year. These are a tie in my book. Absolute fantastic games. Must plays for any major gamer. You like strategy RPGs, you have to play Fire Emblem Awakening. Even if you don't like strategy RPGs, I think this will be one exception that you would like to play. Not a first-person shooter fan? Who cares? You're going to enjoy the story so much in BioShock Infinite that you are not going to care that you're playing a first-person shooter. You'll just set the mode on easy and just enjoy the story. So yeah, guys, these are my games of 2013, Fire Emblem Awakening and BioShock Infinite.